Hello, sir.
Rohit Kumar present.
Hello, sir.
Tell me.
Sir, actually, I have to go somewhere. So, can I leave?
Okay, no problem.
I'll definitely join tomorrow, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, now we'll see tomorrow. Okay. Anyone like Joseph, Gaurav, Krishi? Okay. No problem. Anyway, we'll start. Sorry. You're already started. Okay. So Rohit has a work. No problem. So we'll see him tomorrow. Okay. We'll already start. Now, what we are going to see, guys. We discussed already yesterday about storage devices. So we'll see the hard disk and SSD mainly. Okay. Now here it is. Um, okay. Yeah. Internal storages. First thing is internal storage, external storage. Okay. Internal storage. What is this internal storage? Like your laptop, desktop, mobile, anything internal storage for what? To store your operating system, applications, and data where we are storing internally. Where it is in internally means either internal hard disk or SSDs. So earlier days we are all using hard disk. Now, so SSDs are came. So because compared to SSDs, compared to hard disk, SSDs are faster and smaller size, lesser power consumptions. Okay. Of course, in still some systems we are using hard disk, in some system we are using SSDs. Okay. So internal storage for storing your operating system, applications, and data. Internal hard disk. In that internal hard disk also SATA hard disk, PATA hard disk is there. So we are using SATA type of hard disk. PATA is the older one. Next is SSDs. So instead of hard disk, we are also using a SSD to store your operating system and application and data. So there is SATA interface SSDs, M.2 interface SSDs. For mobile phones, tablets, mini laptops, eMMC storage, internal storage is eMMC chip, data stores in eMMC chips. External storages. What is the purpose of this external storage? Example, I want to transfer some data. So I have a file and I have to copy that file into another system. So I use some USB pen drive or external hard disk. Okay. So I have a mobile phone. I have a lot of pictures inside. So its internal memory is not enough. I don't want to keep everything because all my application operating system already 50% of my storage is occupied. I want to keep my files. For example, I have a mobile. So there is certain movies and songs, pictures like I kept separately. So whenever I travel, so I use it offline mode, movies and also. So I use SD cards to store it. Okay, internally we have a storage, but externally means storing instead of inside your system, outside of your system, like in the pen drives, hard disk, and SD cards for backup storage purpose, transferring heavy data, transferring data from one system to another system. Or you can't keep everything in your inside your system, you will put it in external system. So internal storage and external storage. CD, DVDs, all are external storages only. Next, we'll go to the hard disk. First is hard disk. Okay. So this is a hard disk is a non-volatile memory devices. Means you even you shut down your system, data remains in the hard disk. It is a mass storage device. Means lot of data we can store higher size of data so you can store. 10 GB, 20 GB. Okay, nowadays 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte, 4 terabyte hard disk also available. Okay, so like this mass storage device. Magnetic type of storage device it is. Okay, so it's a magnetic material we use inside to store our data. So magnetic type of storages. So this is the internal part of hard disk. If you see the disk type, the disk, you can see the disk contains it's actual aluminum alloy disk with the magnetic coating on it. Data stores on this disk, hard disk. Okay, and this is called actuator arm, and the tip of this arm contains magnetic read and write header. So data is reading and writing on this platter only. This is the disk, we call it as platter. It's not your CD DVD, it is a magnetic disk. It is so called platter. On this platter, data is stored. The data is read and writing with this magnetic read and write is there in the tip. Next, this is attached to a permanent magnet called actuator. This is actuator, and this is actuator arm. So this arm moves to in and out on the like left right on the this case, and this is attached to the spindle motor. The motor rotates this platter, and data is reading writing on this platter. So where is the data stores? On the platter, and these are our remaining devices: platter, spindle motors, actuator arm, read and write header, and actuators. This is internal components of a hard disk. Of course, directly you can't open the hard disk. If you open, it is exposed to electromagnetic interferences and data will be gone, and the data is disturbed. So that is okay, that is a point. So some people, so in the like olden days photo reel dark rooms are there, like a hard disk related dark rooms also there, which is completely zero electromagnetic interference dark rooms. So they will keep it that locations and like a vacuum tubes type only, but it's not a vacuum. It is it does not no electromagnetic interference, no mobiles or phones, any other electronic equipments also not allowed inside. So they will open it and see any issues are inside. But it is very costly to touch inside of the hard disk. So because they get an opportunity to do it. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, this is internal components. But you are attaching a hard disk to the motherboard, right? You attach hard disk to motherboard. Okay. So like this is a hard disk and there is a motherboard. Okay. So we are attached our hard disk to our motherboard. Okay. To attach it, so we have a two type of interfaces hard disk are there. One is IDE or PATA interface hard disk. Another one is SATA interface hard disk. Earlier we use IDE technology. So IDE interface is there. Earlier days it is 80 pin connector, 80 pin connector IDE, 80 pin connector is there. So later it is technology is advanced technology attachment, that kind of interface we are using. In that one, PATA means parallel advanced technology attachment. It's a 40 pin connector. So later we got a SATA, serial advanced technology attachment, that type of interface. It's 7 pin connector, a single wire type connectivity. You see, this is a hard disk. See? This is IDE or PATA type of hard disk. Okay. And you see there is a 40 pin connector. This is for data cable connectivity. This is power cable connection. And if you see this ribbon cable, okay, so one side of the cable is connected to your motherboard, and we have a two another points, that is we can connect a two hard disks, two CD-RAMs, one hard disk, one CD-RAM wise also we can connect it. Okay, so this is a ID type of hard disk. So where is a hard disk? This is a motherboard IDE pins. Motherboard IDE pins. Okay, this is hard disk. So this is a ribbon cable. Okay, this type of ribbon cable we are using. one side of the cable connected to this motherboard, this side, and another side is connected to your motherboard. Okay. Sorry, one side is go to motherboard, other side is connected to your hard disk. Okay. This is IDE or SATA type of connectivity. Next is sorry, IDE or a PATA. This is SATA. This is SATA hard disk interface. This circuit board, you can see this is a circuit board. This is called a logic board. Okay. Inside of this hard disk, we have that mechanical component circuit. And here you can see this is a small one and big one. Two connectors are there. So see two things are there. The first one is there is a 7 pins. This is the data connector from your motherboard to hard disk. This is here where it is connected here. What is the second one is power connector, power supply purpose. Here also this is intermediate one, means not like when there is a SATA hard disk are there and SATA hard disk are introduced. Now in a transformation, certain old systems support only the power supply, means SMPS connections support is this type of SATA sub connector type on 4-pin connector like this. Okay, this power supply for this type of hard disk, not for this type of hard disk. Okay, but what is this? It will support both, like your SMPS having Molex 4-pin connector or maybe SATA as power supply connector. So like that, it is if you do not have SATA power supply connector that time, so older SMPSs. So we can also connect with this type of connector, 4-pin connector, Molex connector. Okay, later on days again, so only this type only data connector and SATA interface, SATA power supply connectors like this. Okay, this is the cable we are using, right? This is the cable used to connect it. You see, one side of the cable is connected to your hard disk, other side of the cable is connected to your motherboard. Okay. Can use SATA, then you can find like this. So on the motherboard, these red pins you can able to see. These red pins, any closer? Yeah, this is the red pins you can see. So color can be changed. Sometimes black depends upon motherboard manufacturers. It can be black or it can be red. Okay, it can be blue also sometimes. Okay, this is a motherboard SATA connector, and this cable one side connected to motherboard, other side is connected to your hard disk like this. Okay, even for a laptop directly integrated. We don't use the cables there, but it is on the laptop there is a integrated connector. So it's a blue connector here. Okay, this is a SATA hard disk connector. It is okay. So what is a here? It is a hard disk again. Mass storage device, non-volatile memory type. Even you shut down your PC, data will be stored inside. Secondary memory storage only. Magnetic type. Two type of data stores in this platter. And we have not only platter, spindle motors, accuter arm, and a read and write header also there internally. And externally, there is a logic board to connect your hard disk to your motherboard. So it depends upon that interface. We use that type of interface connection. Olden days, we have IDE, then PATA, IDE, PATA. Generally, it is 40-pin connector. Okay, ribbon cable we are using to connect it. One side connected to hard disk, another side is connected to your motherboard. Serial ATA, serial advanced technology attachment means SATA. SATA is 7-pin connector, single wire type only, not ribbon cable, to connect your hard disk to your motherboard. In a laptops, internally there is a point, just integrated point is there. You have to just put a little bit push, it will be get connected. Okay. Okay. So if any laptop open kind of stuff, if it is there, then we can definitely able to see. Okay. Okay. Okay, guys. Internal hard disk. So as I said, internal storage, right? Internal hard disk. So I said SATA interface, PATA interface. Currently, we are using SATA interface hard disk only. SATA is faster than PATA. Current version is SATA 3, 6 Gbps. Data transmission support is there with the SATA interface hard disk. SATA interfaces. Okay. So as we earlier we started internal storages. And the hard disk also, internal hard disk also there, right? So that's what we started that point, internal hard disk. In this internal hard disk, there's 3.5-inch hard disk, 2.5-inch hard disk also there. This 3.5-inch hard disk, it is heavy, bigger the size, and it is suitable for desktop purposes. 2.5-inch hard disk generally used for laptops, okay, mini PCs, kind of stuff. Generally, laptop 2.5-inch hard disk. So in a desktop, you want to use 2.5, you can use it. But in a desktop, if you in a laptop, if you want to use 3.5, you can't put it because size is always required a compatibility. Okay, size also need a compatibility. Next, power supply difference is also there. 3.5 to 2.5, the power supply connectivity also different. Okay, 2.5 can work with the 5 volts. 3.5 it needs 12 volts. Okay. So again, internal hard disk, 3.5-inch hard disk, 2.5-inch hard disk, 3.5-inch hard disk, desktop hard disk, 2.5-inch hard disk, laptop purpose. Like you want to buy a hard disk, so what purpose? Desktop or laptop? So based on that, you have to choose it properly. Okay. And of course, external hard disk also there. Internal hard disk we understand, but external hard disk are look like this one. External hard disk or you can easily connect with a simple USBs. These external hard disks also available in different sizes, storage capacities wise. You have a data in your laptop or a desktop, you want to store it as a backup into your external hard disk, you can use it. You can take a backup and store it. System image backup or regular data backup, you can store it. Okay. So sometimes you have a lot of data. Usually I download this operating system application image files or application download files, I do it. So it sometimes it become more and more size, like 2 GB, 4 GB, 10 GB files also there. So what I have to do? I can't keep it in my system because storage capacity is limited in my system. I keep them into the external hard disk. Okay. And another one is you want to transfer heavy data. Last time, a few years back, I downloaded a file. The file size is 100 GB. After extract, it contains lot of files, but it is downloaded is 100 GB. Okay, so I want to copy that data into another system. 100 GB. How can I be able to transfer through network or anything? We can't do it, right? Simply attach an external hard disk, store the data into external hard disk, copy into the other system. Okay, to transfer heavy data, to store your data, which is you're not required to be inside your laptop, or we can use it for a backup purpose. That is a external hard disk, simple USB connectivity. So we can connect an hard disk and store the data. Okay, so this is about your hard disk interfaces and sizes also. Okay. SSD, SSD, solid state drive, solid state drive. You know, when I was in my diploma, If I write a abbreviation of SSD, I got a 2 marks. SCSI, SCSI, if I write a SCSI abbreviation, if or otherwise in MCQs, if I select a SSD, solid state drive, so I will get at least 1 mark. Now not enough. You have to explain because that time only abbreviations. Now after 20 years, it is compulsory to know everything. Okay. SSD, solid state drive. It is also NAND memory. Sorry. SSD is a NAND memory, like your pendrives, memory cards, eMMCs, like a data storing in the chips. SSD data stores in chips. So it is NAND memory. Okay. And SSD is a mass storage devices. Heavy data we can able to store it. Okay. So we'll start a simple comparison with the hard disk and SSD with the points. Okay. We'll see. Hard disk is magnetic type of storage. SSD is NAND memory. Hard disk and SSD both are mass storage devices only. Okay. In a hard disk, data stores on the platter. Data stores on the platter in a hard disk. In SSD, data stores in chips. Hard disk contains different mechanical parts like a platter, spindle motor, like that. Accuter arm, accuter, read and write headers. So there is a different mechanical devices. But in SSDs, data stores in chips. No mechanical or loose parts are not there. Okay. Of course, both are non-volatile memory devices. Compared to hard disk, SSDs are lightweight, it's easy to carry, easy to transport, lesser power consumptions, smaller the sizes. Okay, so that is SSD. High-speed data read and write with SSD. High-speed data read and write and transmissions. And SSDs are more suitable for a operating system and application purpose. So with the operating system, we can get a faster booting and faster application loading also there. Okay. So, and it is not suitable. I am written this not suitable for storing regular data. Why it is? Because of if you compare hard disk to SSD, there is a cost difference. But now the cost difference is there, but still slightest cost only difference. But why when I put it this costly in comparison, I purchased 240 GB SSD with a 3000 rupees. Okay. And same thing, I purchased 1 terabyte of hard disk for my desktop, 3400 rupees cost. 1 terabyte of hard disk, 2.5 inch for my laptop. It's cost me around 3800. But you take a SSD, I got it 3000 only, but not 1 terabyte. Okay, hard disk I purchased 1 terabyte. Okay, its cost is ranging from 3000 to 4000. But when I'm buying this SSD, the cost is so 240 GB 3000 means 1 terabyte is around 10,000. Okay, around 10,000 or 12,000 kind of stuff. Of course, that time, so 1 terabyte is very costly. Nowadays, the cost are more number of production available. So then automatically cost reduced of SSD, but still it is little costlier than your hard disk only. Okay, but hard disk compared to hard disk, SSD provide faster data read and writing, data transmission purpose, lesser power consumption. Okay, easy to transport, smaller the sizes. This is hard disk and SSD and hard disk and SSD differences. And SSD is also having a two interface SSDs are available. One is SATA interface SSD, which is quite like your regular hard disk, SATA interface hard disk. For example, you have an old laptop. It is having SATA interface hard disk. You want to replace with SSD? Yes, you can replace it. Okay. NAND SATA SSD. SATA interface like how you connect a regular hard disk, SATA interface hard disk, same way you are connecting this SSD for laptop or a desktop purpose. Next, another SSD like NVMe M.2. Okay, M.2 type of SSDs is faster than SATA SSDs, but cost also higher. And these M.2 interface SSDs directly we are inserting on the motherboard, desktop motherboard or laptop motherboard. By inserting directly, so what is the benefit? So it will provide very high speed data transmission. So compared to hard disk, compared to PATA hard disk, hard disk is faster. Compared to SATA SSD, compared to SATA hard disk, SATA SSDs are faster. Compared to SATA SSDs, M.2 SSDs are faster. Okay. In this M.2 also there is a models P1, P2, P3. So I've written C, this is SATA interface SSD. It's around 500 read and write capacity. But you see it's a 4 times, and this is 10 times faster. If you compare 10 times or 9 times to 9 to 10 times faster than your interface. Okay. So of course cost difference is also there. Okay, this is hard disk and SSD, guys. Hard disk is hard disk and SSD, mass storage devices, secondary storage devices. Both are used to store operating system, applications, and data purposes. Hard disk having a mechanical devices like platter, spindle motors, and actuator arm and actuator. So on the platter data is stored. An SSD data stores in the chips. Okay. So compared to PATA, hard disk having two interfaces. Two interface hard disks are there. One is EIDE or PATA interface hard disk. Another one is SATA interface hard disk. Compared to PATA interface hard disk, SATA interface hard disk is faster. Okay. And next, coming to SSDs. Once again, this is the differences. Coming to it's a smaller size. Okay, easy to carry, lesser power consumptions, faster data reading and writing. Okay, the hard disk, PATA, SATA, SSD, what is that? M.2 array, SATA interface, SSDs. So these are the differences, guys. Okay. So the next one is we'll go to the boot processing. Okay. Take a small break, just like a 5 minutes break. Then we'll discuss boot processing and we'll take some 10 minutes break.